You said you'd come. Now let's hope you're not too late.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Long talks. Long talks.
Talk just a little bit, just for the sake of it. Say what you think of it.
Long talks. Long talks.
Talk just a little bit, just for the sake of it. Say what you think of it.
Long talks. Long talks.
Talk just a little bit, just for the sake of it. Say what you think of it.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 55 of the Wulong Talks podcast. Hi, my name is Jason. I'm the host of the show, as you know. And today we've got a very special podcast lined up for you because we're going to be chatting to somebody who we've spoken to before. You should know her very well by now. But if you don't, this is going to be very interesting for you because Ramona S. J. Lee has an amazing story. So I would strongly recommend that you go and check out that podcast that we did with her. It was really, really fun to speak into her. And it's wonderful to have her back as a guest again. But first of all, of course, as always, I'm joined by the Rustling Kid, Rich Kid. Rich, say what's up, man.
What's happening, people?
Cool. And we're in the house, as said, with our very special guest, Ramona Soo Jun Lee. Ramona, hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you back again. We've had some internet troubles today, listeners, so things may be a little bit choppy, but you know what? Stick with us as you always do, because this one is definitely going to be worth listening to and checking out. How's everybody doing? Everybody's all good?
Yeah, I'm happy here. I can't complain.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, the weather's a bit crazy over here as well at the moment, which I don't know if that's having an effect on our tech. I'm not sure. But I posted on my social media, on the Wulong Talk social media, that this weather is a bit bipolar at the moment.
I thought that.
I don't know how it is for you, Ramona, at the moment in Germany, if it's that bad as well. Or...
The same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it's crazy. Yesterday it was so hot, I was sweating, and then today it's windy, wet, cold, and yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, Ramona said, thank you for joining us again. It's great to speak to you again, as always. And Ramona's with us here today because she's working on a movie, as you know, for the upcoming adaptation of her book, Kung Fu Bodyguard. Now, we said in the previous podcast we did with Ramona, you should definitely go and check that out because we spend a lot of time talking about the book and some of the ideas behind it. But now you've got to the stage where you're developing a movie from the script and things like that. So you must be really excited right now.
Right, really, really excited. It's my first feature film and based on my book, so it's really exciting. I'm ready about it.
Awesome. Rich, you want to kick us off with the first question?
Yeah, I mean, basically, first, like I said, I'm part of Wulongs, but I haven't had a chance to speak to you yet, Ramona. So I'm going to say congratulations, because it's hard enough, like writing a book and getting that published anyway, and now you've got it being made into a feature movie. Those are two amazing things. So, like I said, from me personally, like congratulations as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But let's kick off with the set of questions. So to other listeners who may not have heard the original interview with Jason, and even though I've heard it, I wasn't actually in that interview. Just give us a brief recap. Where did the idea for Kung Fu Bodyguard come from?
The idea actually, it's crazy to say, it was just me, and one day I said I want to do a feature film, and this is how it all started. Like, I want to do it. I have no idea how. I don't know any people. I don't know how to start this, but I want to do a film. So as a novelist, the first step was writing the book. So I was thinking I should do a low budget story, somehow with few cast members, so less characters, not that many locations, or locations we could find or that are cheap to find. And a story that would be not that hard to act. So if I find people who are not that actors, professional actors or just stuntmen, they could do those characters, they could act. So I wrote Kung Fu Bodyguard, and yeah, the first step was publishing the book. I published it in Romania, so in Romanian, and I still struggle a little bit with English, so it took me a little bit of time to translate it to English. And yeah, I did a translation, so I had a novel in English, and then I did the script based on the book. And it was also my first script, so as I said, it was a little bit crazy to see. I want to do feature film, and I never wrote a script before. And yeah, to look back at what I did and I came so far, it's already amazing, and we're still at the beginning.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. It is amazing, amazing journey. Sorry, Rich, go on.
Oh yeah, no. I was literally gonna say that. It's like it sounds like you had the idea and you just decided to follow it through, which I'm gonna keep on saying is that's not an easy thing to do. Some people have ideas and just sit in it and never do it. But
Right.
yeah, but good on you, man. Like for realizing your dream and chasing it. So yeah.
Yeah, one day you say, I want to do this, and you just start doing it. No matter how crazy it sounds. Even when I started writing books, I want to write a book. It sounded crazy as a kid. I want to write a book. And then when I was 14, I wrote the first book. And it's crazy to say, I want to do this, like a big thing, and then you end up doing it, and then you keep doing it. So it was the same thing with the movie, because if you don't start doing it, at least you can try, even if you I don't know, don't succeed or anything. You just try, at least you tried doing it. And amazing things can turn out when you just start doing it, just trying. And you see how it develops on the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about trying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always tricky to take that first step, isn't it? I think that's what
Right.
holds a
So-
lot of people back sometimes from doing the things that they love is being intimidated by that first step and what you may have to do in order to kind of
Right.
get to the point where you're ready to say, okay, yeah, I'm doing my thing now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's always hard to overcome that, really.
Until your project has a shape. Right now it has a shape. We have the cast members, we have the people working with us, and I already know how it's going, what we're doing, even though we don't have all the money we need. We're still looking for budget and things, but already I know it looks already like a project, a real project, not just an idea. I want to do this, and I don't even have the people. So I think the hardest part was already made, or it's going to be easier from now on. I think so.
Yeah, hopefully it will be. In terms of kind of translating your book into a screenplay, how long did that take you to do that process? Was there like a lot of different versions of the script that you wrote that differed from the book, or did you have to write lots and lots of different drafts, or was it just you kind of straight away saw the book, writ the book, knew what you were doing, and then just kind of transplanted it to the screenplay?
Yeah, actually, altogether it took me those 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks off, so I did a translation to English and a script altogether. And it wasn't hard because, like I said before, so my books don't have that many description. So I'm writing the action with less description, more movement, how I like to say it in books. So it was easy to do the script based on it. And I just did some research on how to write the script, like technically how it should look like. And I wrote the script. Later on, I didn't know that it was too long. Actually, a friend of mine from the industry, he's a stuntman and actor also, and he just read it and he told me, that script is too long. That's gonna be like a 4 hours long movie, and if an investor is looking at it, no one is going to invest in it not because the story isn't good, just because it's too long. And I didn't understand what he was saying. And then I was looking at it and I just had too many spaces, like really spaces, blank spaces between the lines that made it even longer than it was. Because actually the story is a short story, like 1 hour and something. And the script made it look like a 4 or 5 hours long movie.
Right.
And I edit it again, so it's shorter now and it's just perfect how it should be for 90 minutes or something movie. It was
Awesome.
yeah, it was my first script, so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's understandable. I guess, as you said, it's your first script. That must have been a bit painful, though, for you, though, on a personal level, to have to, spend so much time writing your novel and getting it to a point where you're happy with it, and then when you come to do the adaptation, finding you have to cut things out of the novel in order to make it, fit for a screenplay.
I didn't cut out any action actually. We did introduce some action. It was all just about the editing, And as for the story, we have some actors that are not in the book, and I introduced some lines and some parts for them, so they're gonna have some action in the movie, and it's not in the book. But it was just because we have the people, and I wanted to introduce some stuntmen or some other actors, so I did introduce it. But the story, like the script, follows the book almost step by step. Almost.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wow, that's well done on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Rich, do you want to get the next question in?
Hold on, because did you ask what was the last question that you asked? Because
As usual, listeners, Richard is the bastion of professionalism. Well, we asked about the adaptation of the script. So the next question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, what it is. Okay, listeners, what it is. Jason didn't ask the question exactly as it appears on the screen. So where I've got a short attention span, that's where I got lost. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. My question, Ramona, is, were there any other movies that inspired the script? I mean, was there anything that you wanted to be like, or anything that you didn't want to be like? You wanted to try something different, or go with your own voice?
I wouldn't say that movies, but I wanted to be somehow 80s or 90s Hong Kong action style. The style, the type of action. But I wouldn't say that I got inspired by any movie for Kung Fu Bodyguard. But I just like the 80s style. Somehow the 80s or 90s style, but made in 2018 or 2019 style. Just take a bit of Jackie Chan style, but make it the modern way.
Okay.
That's what I was inspired.
Okay, nice. Okay, could you mentioned 1980s like Kung Fu. Okay, so I mean, obviously you don't want to, you just wanted to have your own take in it, but
Right.
because like I said, I didn't get a chance to talk to you last time. So what would be your number one Kung Fu film that that you would say that would be a bit of an influence into what we might be able to see on screen?
Oh no, that's hard. I would say Police Story, like Jackie Chan's Police Story. Yeah. All the movies, Police Story. I was a big fan since I was a kid. But that inspired more my Agent 00, so the other book series. And also, Who Am I? Jackie Chan's Who Am I is one of my favorite Jackie movies. And the funny thing about it that, Ron is known for the famous rooftop scene, the fight scene at the end of the movie. And Ron is now part of our cast. So this is actually amazing,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I remember when you told me Ron was going to be a part of it, and I was like, I recognize the name, but I can't remember where from. And then I looked at his filmography, and I was like, holy crap, he was the guy from Who Am I? Like, Jesus, I didn't even realize, So yeah, that's amazing. I mean, listeners, if you haven't seen Who Am I, check it out, man. It's definitely one of Jackie's awesome better movies for sure. So yeah, check that out. But I hope that as Kung Fu Bodyguard is inspired by 80s and 90s style Kung Fu movies, I hope it's going to be inspired by their fashions as well, because I love the crazy wild colors that people wear in those movies. That's one of the things that always stands out to me and makes me laugh as well. Because you look back at it and you're like, wow, people actually wore that in the 80s? It's just crazy. Because they've all got bright yellows and really pastel whites and all of these kind of colors in their clothing.
It was cool, actually. It was cool.
Yeah, it was. Although I suppose with the fashion world, everything comes full circle anyway, doesn't it? So it probably wouldn't even feel out of place to do that now with Kung Fu Bodyguard. So yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. Ramona, is there a specific character in the script that you enjoyed writing more, that you kind of identified with on a personal level, or did they all just feel kind of the same to you when you were writing them?
Yes, somehow I like them all. Like when you have more kids, you love them all. I should say that I like Sophie the most because I'm going to act Sophie.
Mm,
But no, actually, Bo is my favorite. He's the main male actor and
mm,
character, and yeah, I think he's my favorite.
mm.
He's more interesting than the others, but all are cool. I couldn't say no, I can't say that I like him more than other characters. But if I would talk about a character, I could talk about more than talk about others.
Mm, mm.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I like in the book that you wrote is the relationship between Sophie and Bo, and how the two of them kind of connect with each other, and the way in which there is that kind of respect that forms between them, even though they're, initially a little bit, I guess, suspicious of one another because of the backgrounds and what they go through in the story. And this is not to give away any spoilers, anybody, so I'm not going to give away any spoilers as for what happens. But yeah, I mean, was that a fun aspect to write into the screenplay as well, that dynamic between the two of them?
yeah, Bo is a really interesting character because as an amnesiac, he's someone who minds his own business, lives a simple life, and though he trains every day and is a skilled martial artist, he doesn't want any trouble. So first, he doesn't even want to help Sophie. He might seem arrogant or even rude, but at the same time, he's actually showing. He's not really showing his real feelings. And he starts helping Sophie only after the cook who raised him up is killed. So that's the reason actually he's helping her. But on the way, he starts to know Sophie better, and even though they start interacting differently on the way, not like how it was at the beginning. He didn't want any involvement, and almost hated her at the beginning because of what happened to the cook. So he develops during the story and changes his attitude towards Sophie.
Yeah, that is definitely quite interesting. I did like the kind of dynamic and the back and forth between the two of them, and that's something I think would stand out really well in the script, especially in the tradition of those kind of martial arts movies, and the way in which those two types of characters would traditionally interact with each other. That's something that I think is going to be really fun.
So it's a drama, they're dramatic, but then it's also comedy, and you can also laugh with them, and then you're sad, and then you see that Bo starts having feelings somehow towards Sophie, and then he wants to help her, but and then it's combining comedy with the drama between them. And that's really cool that I found Nicholas to be the actor for Bo. Because he has that something, that charming, Asian, Chinese, traditional, that charm, which I couldn't imagine any other actor or stuntman I know who could act Bo probably better than Nicholas. And I didn't care how many roles or even roles in movies he had, or if he had none, or how much stunt work he has done in the industry. I just saw him and I was really convinced that no matter what, he can do this role. So that's why I gave him this character, and I really think he's gonna do really good as too. I'm really convinced about that. And Kai is also really happy to have Nicholas. So I'm really excited about it. He's like made for it. When I first saw him, I was like, that was the first thing I told him actually when we met. You look like my character. Because he followed me on Instagram, and after some weeks, I just saw him on Instagram online and stuff, and I didn't check his work out, and until one moment I just looked up his name on YouTube, and I found his acrobatics, and I was like, wow, this guy is cool, and then I started looking at what he was posting and the videos, and I was like, man, I'm just writing a story and he looks like the character, I didn't. Actually, I was doing the translation, and I had in my mind, I'm gonna do a feature film. That was in my mind already. And then I thought, now, wow, I have the lead actor. It was all in my mind. But then we started talking, and at some point, I really told him, you know what, you look like my lead character in a story I just published. And he was so happy about it. Yeah, I'm gonna be the next Jackie Chan. Thank you for that. It was like a joke, we just joked. And he was like, cool, if we do the movie, just let's do the movie together. And yeah, we should do the movie. And I was like, oh, okay. And then one day I just sit on my chair and I was like, what if I do the movie? And what if I ask him to be the lead actor? And it was just in my mind. I was thinking about it, and 1 year later, because it was last year, I really say to myself, I should start doing this project. Maybe Indiegogo, fundraising, anything, just somehow try to get the message out that I want to do this feature film because of the connections. I started having some connections in the industry, but still not enough. And yeah, I asked him and I told him, you know what? I just want to do this movie. We want to be the actor. And he was like, yeah, sure. When do we start? And I was like, yeah, when do we start? I don't have any plan. I don't have any money and nothing. But yeah, when do we start? And at the same time, I met Kai. Actually, I met him before, but we didn't really talk that much. And I remember I sent him my books, and he was like, "Oh, we could film. People could do movies based on your books." And I was like, "Yeah, that's the man I need." Yeah, I like how you're thinking. And I really messaged him on Facebook. It was like crazy. I want to do this feature film. Do you want to be the director? And I remember he was like skeptical. He's sending some messages back. Yeah, what project? Who's involved? Just me and Nicholas Wang. Do you know him? He was like, yeah, well, he said, I don't know how to make fundraising or stuff, but if you can manage to have the budget, I can direct, I can do a really cool movie, And I told him, okay, you don't need to do anything. I'm gonna raise the budget and you're gonna be the director. Because it was crazy that I said that I'm gonna do everything because I couldn't do and I don't do everything. But it was really important for me to have people around me, to have a team. Because all the time it was just me and I can't do a movie by myself. So I was really happy that Nicholas was so enthusiastic about it. And then I found Kai. I was like, okay, I have a team. And I started making plans and how the cast and what we need, locations and stuff to give them an idea of what I want to do. And then I said, we're going to do Indiegogo. I knew from the beginning that we would not make that much money on Indiegogo, so not enough money. But it was a way to advertise what we want to do, show the people we want to do a movie and maybe we're going to find the people on the way. And I did all the business plans and stuff we needed. And yeah, then later we had Xavier involved, Xavier Liu, and then Jordan. And yeah, that was enough to have enough people for the posters. So Kai did this poster and yeah, we just put it online and it was let's see what's happening. And yeah, actually Kai told me last month when we met at the Fighting Spirit Film Festival, he said, Ramona, when you messaged me back then, I was really thinking, who's this girl? And this sounds crazy. What was this and why me? And what are we doing here? He said it was interesting to him that I was so convinced we're gonna do the movie. I just need you in my team. We're gonna do a movie. And he said, like, yeah, well, we have anything to lose. We just try it. If it's not working, it's her project. So probably, it was funny. But I kept doing, and I knew that they might think that about me. And I tried all the ways to just convince them, look, it's going to be something. Until we got at some point when they also told me, this project is really going big. And I said, yeah, I told you. It was just the beginning. That was hard. Just me convincing people I want to do a feature film, because so many do short films just because of the budget, or maybe they don't want to try to do the feature film just because they're saying, yeah, we can't make it. We don't have enough money. And I said, no, I don't want a short movie. I want a feature film. And even if we wait and it's going to take some time, but just let's try it. And look where we are today here. And you're getting closer to it. So it's great that I started doing it.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's been really interesting as well to see the reaction online to what you've been doing, because certainly on the social media, if the social media is anything to go by, then people do seem to be really interested in the project, and especially given how kung fu movies and martial arts movies in general are enjoying a real kind of renaissance at the moment, and are becoming quite popular again with people. It seems like it's everything is going great for Kung Fu Bodyguard so far. So,
I'm
so
really
that's
happy.
great to see.
Really, really. And last month, even at the festival, I showed to some people, the poster on my phone. I was like, yeah, I saw that somewhere, and yeah, I saw that on Instagram or Facebook. I saw that. You're behind the movie. And I also met someone who asked me, are you the writer of Kung Fu Bodyguard? And I was like, yeah. Oh, that's so great to meet you in person, and I'm so glad you're a girl, a woman behind the project, because just men on the poster, men here, men there, and then finally there's a woman behind such a project. And I was amazed that so many people actually already knew about the project, even though they didn't know all of us, or they didn't personally meet me or talk to me online, but they heard about Kung Fu Bodyguard and that something is going on there. So I was really happy that it reached so many people already, and we didn't even start filming. So this is really great.
Yeah, awesome. Rich, you want to grab the next question for her?
Yeah, in fact, I was actually just gonna, because you guys just mentioned something, which is, I mean, we haven't discussed it, but I mean, well, this question actually isn't on the list. It's just coming straight from the front of my head. But what can you guys say or give a reason as to the reason why martial arts has had this like resurgence? Because I mean, Jason, you've always been interested in martial arts. Ramona, you sound like you've always been interested in martial arts, and I definitely have. But I'd say probably in the last few years, it seems to be pretty much everywhere. It's becoming a lot more part of pop culture than it was, or than it hasn't in, let's say, in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years. Do you guys think there's any particular reason why? Because I mean, like I said, you've got people who are senior staff in there, and it's now not just a man thing. Now it's it's anybody can participate in it.
Yeah.
Do you any particular reason why, or any reason you can give to that? Anybody?
Well, should I start?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got my own take on that, but Ramona, yeah, you go first. Go ahead.
Well, actually, you see action everywhere in Hollywood. There's action everywhere, and when they do action, they do martial arts. Actually, it's just the way you look at it. Because people in Hollywood, they say that's an action movie, but there's almost no action without martial arts. So it's just because of how you promote these movies. If you say it's a martial arts movie, if you say it's a Jackie Chan movie, then oh yeah, he's doing stunts, he's doing martial arts. But you see all this in all action movies. You see stuntmen doing stunts. You see someone action choreograph something, and it's a particular style of kung fu or taekwondo or anything. So it's been around. It's always been around. It's just about how people promote it. And I think last year's martial artists and stuntmen and people from this industry started to promote the martial arts in the movies again a little bit more than in the last years.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think for me, what it is in part, I think, is new technologies and new technology developing things like YouTube and different various forms of social media. They've kind of encouraged people to be more independent and to do things for themselves. And I think where martial arts has benefited is that it doesn't have to rely on the studio system as we understand it for movies and for content to be provided. People are now realizing they can get a camera themselves and start filming their martial arts fight scenes and their choreography, and these people have often been lifelong fans of the genre, and perhaps at the time when they got into the industry maybe didn't know how best to to put their desire and their passion for what they do on the screen. And now, as said, with the development of technologies and the fact that people feel confident that they can, find funding by themselves and can get the equipment by themselves. And, as long as somebody who can operate a video camera and somebody who can do a bit of editing for you, then, effectively that's all you need. Martial arts movies in general, I think are, they're, to steal a pornography phrase, sorry about this, listeners, but they're kind of the gonzo of the film world, in the sense that, like horror movies, anybody can do it. You just need to have, an idea of what you want to do, and to be able to get some people together. And as you mentioned, Ramona, there's so many options for funding, online these days with Indiegogo and Patreon and all kinds of things like that. You can put these things together and create your content. And I think that also, there's a desire within audiences as well to see it, because as you said, Ramona, people have, especially in the West, have been seeing this for a long time, and perhaps not necessarily appreciated that some of the people behind these action scenes that you see in these big budget movies are actually martial artists in their own right. And all they've done is just kind of taken their art and adapted it for the needs of the movie or the TV show that they're working on. But these people have always been doing this thing, and I guess now, as said, with all of those kind of elements in play, it's the perfect time for somebody to be able to just do it by themselves if they want. And as said, you don't have to go to a major studio and try and sell your script to one of the big studios and then end up in a pile on someone's desk somewhere for 3-4 years. You can just do it yourself. And and when you do it yourself, as we often see now, especially with the martial arts movie industry, when you do these things yourself, the big guys will come to you. So they will, once they see what you're doing, they'll come to you and say, whoa, we didn't know you could do this. Do you want to do this? And so on, so
it's the only way, because nobody knows us. You must say, the big people in the industry. There's no other way. You can't just run after them and yell, I'm writing stories, I know martial arts, take me in your movie. This is the only way to demonstrate I'm doing this and I might be good at it, or have a look. But you just have to do your own things to show the world and to show the people you wanna work with, or maybe just meet. But anyway, it's the only way to do your own project.
Yeah. For sure. What's your take, Richard? I mean, you asked the question, so you might as well give you 10 pence.
I don't know. I definitely agree with you guys. For me, it's just one of those things where, me, Jason, like, I'm the type of person, I will sit through like an hour and a half film that's pure nonsense just to see like some, 5-10 minutes of like good martial arts choreography. And I don't know. And I think it's just, like I said, it's something that's been taken a lot more seriously, as like where you've got certain films that have started to up the stakes, and put a lot more time and effort into it. So, I mean, you've got something like The Raid, which came out quite a few years ago, which I still consider it was a bit of like a fad. And the reason why I'll explain what I mean is that when I say it's a fad, is that it was a fad in relation to the martial arts that it was promoting. So, for example, like years ago, you had like Ong Bak, which reintroduced like the West to real traditional Muay Thai boxing, even though it's been around for years. And then obviously all of a sudden everybody wants to be a Thai boxer. And then you've got something like The Raid, which comes out maybe 10 years later, and then it introduces people to Pencak Silat. So I think that's in a way just opened up everybody's eyes into the thing of like, well, you know what, maybe it's not just a thing of just doing like a block and a punch. There is now like a rhythm to it that we really need to step up our game, and it's not something that only you can do. Let's say if you're from Japan or from China, you've got amazing martial artists from the UK, like Scott Adkins. You've got amazing martial artists from Australia, like Richard Norton, as old as he is. I'm still sure he can kick some ass. So my take on it is that it's just becoming a lot more mainstream in pop culture, especially due to social media. And like Jason said, is it's gonzo. You've got people on Instagram just doing 60-second clips of them just messing around with a camera, and just practicing tricking or practicing like a a form on a wooden dummy or anything. But either way, I'm liking it because I remember like 10 like I said 10 years ago, it was hard to get martial arts. Now you can martial arts like McDonald's on every single corner. Don't get me wrong, not all of it's going to be good, but it is now a lot easier to to filter through and get the really like good stuff and try and promote that instead of just being force fed nonsense. So yeah, but I definitely agree with both of you in that respect.
Yeah. So, Rich, last question.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, so obviously you've got this film being filmed. This isn't the first book. You've got a series of books. What direction would you like to go with if you get a chance to film a sequel? Is it still going to be the same thing, or is there going to be like a difference in tone? So, for example, let's say if you watch, let's say like Star Wars, like the first Star Wars, it's filmed in a particular way, and then you get to like the Empire Strikes Back, and even though it's continuing a story with same characters from the first film, the tone of it feels a lot darker, and it deals with like different issues. Is that going to be how you're going to be approaching the sequel, which I can only assume is all you're aiming for, and fingers crossed is what happens.
No, actually, I wouldn't do a sequel for Kung Fu Bodyguard, because I think it would destroy the story. Some stories are just made to have sequels, be serious, and some of them are just made to be one story, one book, one novel, one feature film, and the story, you are entertained to follow the story, the characters, what's going on, but it just ends, and you want a conclusion at the end. You want to end, or you have it how you wanted to have it. Who dies, who's going to be arrested, and it's just the end of the story. So even if readers or people who are going to watch the movie would say they would love to have a second movie, I would just suggest them, go read the book again or watch the movie again if you love. Because I wouldn't do a sequel for Kung Fu Bodyguard, actually, because I think it would just it would destroy the first story. So it's just one story, and it should stay like this. But I plan to do other projects after this, so it's the first but not the last. But I wouldn't do a sequel for Kung Fu Bodyguard. But I'm
Okay,
really
alright.
happy about what we have so far in the cast, and that's what it's actually it's bigger than I imagined to have it. As I said, we started with just me having an idea, then a joke. Nicholas, you look like my character, and then Kai, who was like, okay, I'm in. What's going on? Who's this girl? What's she saying there? And then we really started talking about it, and we got to a point where we both say, this can be a big thing. So let's just not rush into anything and just be patient because things are going well. And even having like Mark Stuss in the cast with his wing flow system, it's introducing his own martial arts style, which is going to be awesome. And like big things there in this project, and I didn't even imagine that it's going to be so great. And like having Ron Smurenburg and the cast made me really happy because, as I said, I was a huge fan of Who Am I? And I remember I was a kid standing in front of a TV because the movie was filmed in 97, came out in 98, right? And
Yeah.
I'm born in 97, so I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, standing in front of the TV, and I tried to kick like the mister on the rooftop, like Ron, taking off his jacket from his feet. And I wanted to do the same thing, and I was like, Mom, I wanna do like this, and I wanna be like Jackie Chan. So I started practicing martial arts, and it's crazy to think that I was watching that movie as a kid, and 15 years later, I get to work with that person I was admiring on the screen as a kid. And not just Jackie Chan, because many people admire Jackie, but that particular rooftop scene, I was a fan of it. So when I randomly met Ron on Instagram, it was like, wow, that's the guy on the rooftop. And I just tried to start talking with him somehow, and I was like really happy. He was so nice. And I remember I told him about my books and stuff, and then how small the world is, that after 15 years of watching as a kid a movie, I meet him online. and he said he's really happy about, to hear about my books and stuff. And he said, I'm proud of you. And I remember it was one morning around 7 a.m. or something. I was walking to work and I saw that message, and I want to say that Ron said, I'm proud of you. That made me so happy that day. I was smiling on the way to work. And I remember I arrived at work and my boss was like, what's wrong with you? I said, nothing is wrong. I'm just really happy, it was the thing, the world is it's such a small world. And I was just happy that he was so positive towards me, and that I'm proud of you made me so happy. That I didn't give up. I had this dream of doing movies, and I just kept going. And look what I'm doing today. It's just because I didn't give up. So later, when he joined the cast, I was just, thankful and really happy about everything I have so far. Even if it wasn't easy, and we still have a lot to do until we get to have the feature film. But in such a few months, it's been half a year or something, we came really far, I would say. So I'm really, really happy about what's going on here. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, considering, as you said, the process of developing a film and getting it from the point of concept to getting casting and funding and things like that can be a really lengthy process. So the fact that you guys have been able to achieve so much so far already, in the sense that you've secured your cast, what your finished script is going to be, you've already begun sort of looking at locations and things like that is amazing, really.
The money is the problem. The
Yeah,
budget.
sure. Well, money is always the problem, isn't it? But yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, in terms of getting the budget together and things like that, like how far off are you? I mean, you don't have to give a figure, but how close are you to where you want to be in terms of the budget needed for getting the movie together?
We have a small amount, but it's not something we would start. We just don't have enough. When we have all the money we need, we want to start then. I wouldn't start now and then wait for more money or stuff. But we just wrote the budget plan again with the rest of the cast members we have now. And you want to just talk again to the investors. There will be some investors who are interested, but it's just the way how you show them the project and to make them be interested in it. They said, maybe, okay, I'm interested, but you need to convince me, how does it sell, or what else is your idea? We're at this point of just talking about this and securing enough money to do the feature film. So yeah, but it's going good, I think. It's going great.
Cool.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would agree with that as well. It definitely is. The business side of it is always slow. From what I know, it's always a question of as you said, trying to convince the right people to buy into what you're doing and to really commit to it. But once you can do that, then you're up and running. So
yeah, it's also the first time for me doing this. So I never did it before. I learned a lot on the way. So it was just, I just wanted to do it, but I had at first no idea how. But I started learning, and you're learning also this business part, and then you somehow do most of the things your own. You're going to learn how to do it, and it's maybe harder at first because you have no help. But then on the way you start learning yourself, and it's always good and to know how to talk to people. And I think actually for me, finding the cast members was the easiest part. I just, it's really easy for me to talk with people, and I don't even need to convince them. I don't know, it just works. It works well. I ask people and they're excited. That's been so far. Some people say, I've never been so lucky as you. Like, I'm just getting rejections and I'm rejected. And I know, okay, it happens to me too. So all people are not interested or looking down on me. That happens, of course, too. But I get a lot of positive reactions, and that's what makes me happy about it. And it's also a thing that I'm a woman, the only one so far here. No, it's two other characters. But yeah, leading the project as a woman, sometimes people might be looking what is she doing there, you know.
Mm.
Got some weird questions sometimes, make me think about what's going on with this world. So once a colleague asked me, what did you do so that these guys accepted you in their project? What did you do? And I was like, what? What's wrong with this question? You know, what's wrong with you? And I get sometimes weird questions like, what did you do so they accepted you? Or how can you like lead this project? No matter if you're a woman or a man, you can lead a project if you know what I want to do. But it's sometimes harder as a woman. And even my age, you know, they're looking at me. She's young. She's a woman. Why is she really writing that? Is she leading the project? Yeah, I'm old enough to do that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, really. It's a problem, you know, not just in the film industry, but in life in general. But
Yeah.
you know, it's an issue where that you're going to have to confront. Unfortunately, people are going to question, you know, your credibility simply because you're a woman, you know, or as you said, because you're of your age as well. You know, people are going to dismiss and try to diminish what it is you're aiming to do. But you know, I think that, as said, that you know, everybody can see how much you've achieved already. So, you know, if you can't look at what you've done so far in terms of your work with the books and with completing the screenplay, and you know, if you can't admire that, then I don't know. Obviously, those people have their own agenda, and you know, there's nothing you can do about them really. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, Ramona, we've run out of our official questions, so if you don't mind, we'll probably just throw one or two off the top of our heads at you. But Richard's usually the guy who freestyles well. So, Rich Kid, I'm going to leave it up to you, man.
Okay, all right. So, could you give, like I said, I love martial arts, but the thing is, I'm that type of person that sometimes I will have to be in a particular sort of mood to watch a type of martial arts. So, for example, if I want to see like loads of wire work, then by all means, I'm going to go watch something like, you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you know, House of Flying Daggers. And then if I want something like nice and gritty and dark and bloody, I might go for The Raid, or, you know, or like On Back or something. What's going to be the tone of martial arts for the film that's going to be coming? Is there going to be anything that's going to blow our mind, anything new, any form of homages, you know, scenes or anything like that?
Yeah, you know, the story is actually crime, you know, because her parents, and but it also has a lot of comedy between the characters. So you're going to laugh a lot. Also, you're gonna feel sad as well, because when they are, you know, different scenes in a movie where you should actually, you know, should feel sad, and then it's just one scene, and then there comes some comedy. So you're not really thinking about how dramatic that was, because in a short time you're gonna laugh again. So it somehow washes away, you know, the drama from it. And not really like Agent 00 where you're just laughing and there is drama, but you're laughing. This is some Kung Fu Bodyguard is a little bit more dramatic, but also comedy, you know, and a little bit of romance. So you have a bit of everything in it. And I'm also passionate about psychology and mental illness. So I'm sometimes making research for characters and stuff. I'm like Bo is also amnesiac, so there's not many details about it, but you know that he can't remember his childhood and what was the reason. Then he finds out and he wants revenge. So it's a psychological part, you know, of the character, of him as a person. And sometimes I try to see how some characters feel or how they might feel in a certain situation. Or if you have a psychopath, how he's feeling or how he's actually not feeling anything and he's happy about what he's doing. That's what I'm interested in, and that kind of gives feeling to the story, you know.
Okay, nice. Okay, I've got another one for you. Okay, so you listen to our podcast, so you've heard us interview another guy who does another podcast called Kung Fu Drive-In podcast called Jeff, and And the last time we spoke to him, I know he said that he was. In fact, we need to get him back on the show, Jason. But the last time we did speak to him, he said he was looking to take up a martial arts. I actually can't remember what it was. I think it might have been Taekwondo. But is there any particular martial arts that you study, or that you'd like to study?
I did study Taekwondo. That was way back in Germany. That was the time I stopped training because of school and schedule and everything. And yeah, I kind of got back to training at home. Um, but just working on flexibility and stuff. But I lack a lot of training. But I would like to go back to training, and also learn action choreography. I really want to do that. So I hope that soon in the
Okay.
future I can learn that too, and I could do that in movies through that. That was actually a part of my childhood dream. No stunts because I'm not good at that, and I'm not going to do that. But yeah, action choreography. I would like to do that, and kung fu. I want to learn kung fu actually.
Okay. Okay. Nice. 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 Yeah, because myself and Jason, like we've dabbled in martial arts here and there throughout our young. Well, I was gonna say young, but through our old lives, we're pushing now. So we need to anything we do now, we need to really really think hard about the lasting
Yeah,
ramifications.
factor in the fact that you wake up in the morning with a dodgy back, dodgy knee, dodgy neck, dodgy elbow. It's like, oh, geez, yeah, I can't do
Yeah.
that no more. Yeah, no, that's very true, man. That's very, very true. Ramona, could you just confirm for us the names of all the cast as well? Because I think I'm not sure if we quite got that. So just for the benefit of the people listening, if you could just let them know who officially is in the cast at the moment.
Yeah, so we have Nicholas Wan as Paul, there is me as Sophie, Steve Coleman as the leader. You might have seen it online that Kai was the leader actually before, but we made some changes and Kai wanna focus on directing because it's his first feature film, so he wanna just focus on doing a great job as a director, and I'm sure he's gonna do great. So we have Steve. It's really great because Steve has been British and European Wushu champion, so it's really great to have him in a team. Then of course Ron Smulenburg as the uncle, so he's the lead villain in the story. Then we have Xavier Liu, he's a stuntman. Also, his dream is to be part of JC's stunt team, and he's actually on a good way to become a member of Jackie Chan's stunt team. So I'm really happy for him. I just needed when I first asked him if he want to be part of the project. I knew he was a Jackie Chan nerd, and I said I need a Jackie maniac in my team. Jackie fans, so I'm really happy to have him in the team. And then it's Jordan Licchio as Mark. He's a dancer, also wrestler. Alexandra Boar, which is a friend of mine. She's a really great actress, and I created this character for her. She's gonna be the tall woman because she's tall. And she acts really well. As I created the character knowing that she's going to be a great actress, even though she didn't have any roles yet. Then we have the leaders subordinates, Jay Chung, Max Reposi, and Jackie Dunes, they're all stuntmen. Jay is also doing music, so it's really great to have them all in a team. Of course, really happy about Mark Stuss. He's gonna be Agent A. Agent B is still a secret. We have someone, but we're gonna reveal that later on. And also we have Sam Mack. He's also a junior wushu champion. We're gonna create a character for him, really cool. But still, we don't have many details for public. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. Oh yeah, and we have a cute little actor. We actually talked about that. It's going to be Nicky Smurenborg. It's Ron's son. He gonna act the mini version of Bo. You know, the young version of Bo. So we have Nicky and Nicholas. It's really cool. I hope that it's going to work out well with him because he's really cute, really nice, and also started training, and it's great to have him in the team. So yeah, that's the cast so far. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Oh, they get really mad. I need to open Google now. You know, Google.
Better double check, otherwise they might be listening at home going, what the hell? You forgot about me? But no, that's cool. Thanks a lot for that, Ramona. So, in terms of how people can find out about how the movie is progressing at the moment, where's best for people to go to look that up?
Ramona S.J. Lee. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram on that name. And if you Google Kung Fu Bodyguard on Amazon, Kindle, you're gonna find the book. And also Agent 00, the first volume, it's available in English, even though I'm still struggling with translating into English because, English is not my native language. But yeah, the 2 books are available on Kindle already.
Cool, sweet. And for Kung Fu Bodyguard, I think I've noticed there's already a IMDb page available for that. So I think if you're interested, listeners, you should definitely head over to imdb.com and just type in Kung Fu Bodyguard, and you should get the main page there. That will give you quite a bit of information as to how the project is developing and things like that.
Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook page. So yeah.
Yes.
But we're gonna have more details when we really start. We're gonna also make a new poster with all the cast members. So we're gonna post about that, and hopefully soon we gotta start filming. So we're gonna keep everybody updated online with how it's going, and I hope that 2019 is going to be a good year for Kung Fu Bodyguard, so everybody can see the feature film. I'm really excited about it.
Cool, that's awesome. Rich, did you want to add anything else before we wrap up?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Like I said, I'm happy that I've finally got a chance to speak to you, Ramona. You've been following us for quite some time, and we've been following you back for quite some time. So it's good to pick your brain, man. Like I said, well done on how far you've come so far. Like you're definitely showing like a determination that can inspire quite a few other people who are obviously trying to break into this type of field as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for promoting it during the podcast, and also for supporting from the beginning. I really appreciate it that you guys are supporting me and the project, and yeah, I'm really happy. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I mean, it's something we want to do here. We always want to support good people who are doing good work, and you are doing good work, absolutely. So it's an absolute pleasure for us to be a part of the journey with you, and we will absolutely make sure that we keep on supporting you throughout that process as well. So yeah, thank you again, Ramona S.J. Lee, for joining us. As said, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, as it always is. And guys, as you said, you've heard where Ramona's at, so make sure you go and check out her social medias to stay up to date with all the things that are developing with Kung Fu Bodyguard. Okay, I think that's going to do it for us. So yeah, we'll say goodbye. Thank you again, Ramona, for joining us. And Rich Kid, we're out here, man. So say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Jesus. You actually sounded like a kid then. Goodbye. Sorry, and it's a goodbye from me, listeners. You take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week. Peace. Thanks for listening to us. If you're down with Wulong Talks, show some love by following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Wulong Talks. You can also find us online at www.wulongtalks.com or drop us an email at wulongtalkspodcast@gmail.com. We can also be found as part of the Britpod Scene Collective, and we're also officially E14 endorsed. Search for those hashtags to enjoy more content from us and from other great British podcasters.